Good morning, Johnny. Thank you for being the first to join the live stream. I hope everyone is doing well this morning. It is Thursday the 26th of March, and I just want to say a happy birthday to my mum, who unfortunately I won't be able to see today, but it is her birthday today, so happy birthday. Hi Ed, hi Nick, hi Johnny. Nice, thanks for tuning in. How's everyone finding the current situation? Like, I know for musicians this is like really challenging. Lost a lot of gigs or students or recording bookings and stuff, so maybe in the comments let me know how you guys are handling it, what you're doing to occupy your time. Maybe you're wanting to do some similar things like I'm doing, where you're just offering stuff and asking for donations in return, just anything to, you know, keep people wanting to play music in this really weird time. For me personally, like, I just moved house on Friday, and that was like seriously touch and go. It was really fortunate of us that we managed to move just before Boris started doing a lot stricter lockdown rules. So yeah, me and Chloe were really thankful for that. And since then, I've just been offering like Skype remote lessons, which a good amount of people have taken up on. And I thought it would be really cool to do a weekly or maybe even twice a week, just do like a live stream where we just have fun. We forget about the current situation. I know a lot of people are isolated and aren't happy about that, but I don't think that's a reason to stop doing something that you love. So here we are right now, doing something that we love, which is playing drums, of course. So just going to completely open it up. If you've got any questions about today's particular class, then feel free to add a comment, because I can actually see you guys on the big screen, which is behind the camera, so I can see everyone joining in and interacting, and let's just make this really good fun. Now it won't be quite the same as a one-to-one lesson, because there's going to be a bunch of you watching at the same time, but I will try my best to keep up with the comments whilst giving you the information in today's lesson. So yeah, I reckon, like, if you guys are up for it, let's go for it. Let's have some fun, and we're going to be talking about rudiments this morning. So even though I'm sat at my electronic kit, you don't actually need to be by a drum kit. So if you're a drummer who is isolated away from their drums, don't despair. You can actually do what I'm about to teach you anywhere. You can do it while sat on the rug, or you can just tap along on your legs, or you can play it on the couch or on your bed or on a pillow. It just works anywhere. So don't even need your drum kit for this, which is a nice bonus. I've seen like loads of comments on Facebook where people are like, I can't get to the rehearsal room because, I'm in isolation, I'm not meant to be going there. But that doesn't mean that you can't do things that, can further your own playing. So today's topic is part one of a two-part series that I'm going to be looking at, and it's going to be talking about the importance of rudiments. And I will say this straight up, this is a little bit of a hard sell to a lot of my newer students, because rudiments don't initially seem like the most glamorous part of playing this instrument. But for me, rudiments are very much like the blueprints of what it means to be a drummer. And it's almost like the foundation of our vocabulary. So if I was to just give you guys a quick metaphor, imagine that you're learning a language and you only learn a very limited amount of that language. So when it comes to talking or writing and talking to one another, you're going to be extremely limited in what you can say if you don't have that wider vocabulary. So if we come back to the drum world now, rudiments basically allow you to expand your vocabulary, and with that in turn allows you to express yourself, or play in lots of different situations, or be more creative, improve your control, which we'll talk about at some point today. Control is a very broad term. It's like calling you guys humans. We all know what human is, but it's very broad. Morning everybody. So morning John, morning Dean, morning Layla, and morning Lara. Thank you for tuning in. So okay, so rudiments. Rudiments is basically like a fancy word for like a sticking pattern, or if we just sum it right back, it's just a pattern, okay? Now we've got 2 hands and 2 feet, and we also have a brain as well, which can obviously cause some issues when it comes to like the independence and coordination of the body. But rudiments and building patterns, I feel like if you're just given like one moment to do something, then you have four options, right? You can either play, we talk about our hands, we can either play a right hand, and we're done. We can play a left hand, and we're done. We can play both hands together, and we're done. Or you can actually choose to pause, and we're done. So they're the four options that I suppose you can use when building patterns. Morning, Vicky. Sorry, Vicky, I forgot you. Morning, thanks for tuning in. So, out of those four things, you can actually build like this huge like repertoire of language. And what we're going to do today is explore the first 2 pages of some rudiments. Now, basically, I've got my laptop next to me, and I think in the description on this live stream, you can actually click a link that gives you the PDF that I'm working from today. But these rudiments are widely accessible. They're called the 40 official rudiments, or the rudiment system. And I'm just going to take you through the first 2 pages and explain why I think they're badass and why I think they're worth learning. And who knows, maybe in a future live stream we can do some really cool stuff around the kit. But for now, just practice pad. So, if you guys have got kind of like an extra tablet, or open an extra tab on your laptop, you can actually follow along with me on the PDF. So let's go for it. So the first one, welcome Ollie, thanks for tuning in, dude. Hope you're well, man. The first one we're going to look at is something called the single stroke roll. And I'm convinced that you can teach anyone this. You can teach your grandma this. So if she's self-isolating, you've got a chance to teach your grandma how to do a single stroke roll. And in my opinion, it's one of the hardest things to do, but in its most basic term, and we're going to be pretending like we're right-handed drummers today. If you're left-handed, then you can of course flip these all round. But if you're a right-handed drummer, single strokes is simply right, left, right, left. Incredibly basic. Until here's the catch. If you start trying to do this fast and consistent, you'll see it's quite a large amount of strain. It's actually a really tough rudiment to keep going like a machine gun. It takes a lot of technique to do that. But it is what it is. It's literally one hand after another. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Sometimes people call it like alternating strokes as well. So I promised myself I wouldn't be like too creative this morning, but with the single stroke I will say this. If you're working to an even value, so like the number 2, 4, 8, 16, if you start with one hand, it will always be leading with that hand. So I'll show you what I mean by that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the right hand is always in control. And what that generally means is on a drum kit, if you're starting with your, say, right hand and you're working to an even number, it kind of like allows you to do a clockwise motion. So if I just do it around the kit, it allows you to do this like circular swirl and a clockwise motion. And of course, if you were to start it left-handed, then it allows you to do the counterclockwise. So there is like a fundamental issue with the single stroke roll, and that is it. It's basically very limited unless you start dealing with some odd numbers like 3 and 6. So of course that will allow you to keep flipping the bilateral plane, but even then it's like it flips instantly. So the single stroke roll is very, very cool, but if that's all you knew as a drummer, like you're going to be like incredibly limited, okay? Of course you can combine odds and evens to create all kinds of mess. So if I do like a 2 and a 3, right, left, so right, left, 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 right, left. So yeah, it can, you know, become a little bit more progressive. But anyway, that is a single stroke roll. Really, really easy to pull off until you start going for like those machine gun tempos. Awesome, so that's the single stroke roll. Let's move on to the next one. So we've got a single stroke 4. Hello Susan, thank you for joining. I hope you and Ben are doing well. So a single stroke 4, often known as a rough, R-U-F-F. In my opinion, a single stroke 4 wants to fit into this category. It basically wants to be like this flurry of 4 notes where you just do this. Morning Ash, hope you're doing well, dude. So single stroke 4, if you look on the sheet, it looks like a triplet with an 8th note attached to it. If I be more specific, morning Jack, nice to see you, dude. If you look at the single stroke 4 more specifically, it's half a sextuplet and then an 8th note. And if you combine those two together, it makes a quarter note, it makes 1 beat. So if you're in 4/4 time, 2, 3, 4. And it sounds a little bit like a gallop, but it's really nice to be able to control that swift burst of single strokes. And that is a single stroke 4, everybody. Awesome, Jack. Go practice on your kit. Go do it. Introduce yourself to the neighbours via your drums. So yeah, single stroke 4, a really cool rudiment. It reminds me of Stuart Copeland from The Police, where he'd go and all that kind of stuff, or even on the hi-hats. So again, I promised myself I wouldn't go around the kit today. I'm breaking the rules. So that is a single stroke 4. Awesome, okay. Really nice for that sort of finite control on the drums. So we're going to move on now, the one underneath, which is a single stroke 7. So this is almost like an extension of a rough. So if a rough is worth 4 notes, if you extend that sextuplet, you're going to end up with 7 notes. And a sextuplet, if I was to just keep time playing sextuplets, that's how sextuplets sound when you're using single strokes. So if you want to bring it up to a 7, a single stroke 7, then you basically play a sextuplet plus a quarter note. And obviously there's going to be a bit of a time lapse between that quarter note and the next sextuplet, like this. See us keeping time with my foot there. So again, it's just encouraging you to push that flurry, that single stroke flurry, that blast. It's basically like elongating it, and with that it just requires a lot more control, especially in the more like high resolution parts of your body. So basically, like for me, fingers, fingertips, all the muscles around the fingers, and the what are these called, guys? I know that in the foot it's called the metatarsals. Anyway, it's basically asking you to control the stick with that part of your hand a little bit more. So less of the wrist, less of the elbows, less of the shoulders, which are all part of the mechanism for being an effective drummer, is actually using all those muscles. But when you're doing these like fast flurries, you don't even really see much movement here. It's all in those fingers. Morning David, hope you're well. Hoping to see you later at 6:30 if you still want that class. But for now, grab your practice pad, fella, you'll be nicely warmed up for later. So anyway, that's a single stroke 4. And again, they're like really nice for like just blasting around the kit really quickly. But all of these, they all have their flaws, which is basically if you start with the right hand, it kind of allows you to go in one direction. If you start with the left hand, it allows you to go in the other direction. So, metacarpal, is that right, Ash? Those are called metacarpals. So yeah, basically anything beyond the wrist, for those really fast, high resolution rhythms where you've got a very finite amount of time, you want to start using your fingers as much as possible. So I have these like really weird like little fat muscles at the end of my fingers, so I don't know if you can see it very well on camera. But yeah, that usually freaks out all the students. It's like 20 years of just doing tap, 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 and you build those particular muscles. So a lot of the rudiments do require that if you want to be reaching some fast speeds. I know that speed isn't like the necessarily the end of, result that you want, because control should be about other things. It should be about how it feels, how it sounds. Can you control volume, like dynamics? Yes, speed is part of control, but it's not the only thing that you should be reaching for. You should be going for like cleanliness and you know, how the notes basically are relative to one another and how clean it all sounds. Morning, Jack. Hope you're doing well, dude. Hope everyone is doing well. I need a sip of drink. Ooh, right, so that's the single stroke family, and you know what, there are like tons of hybrid ones, but we'll just keep it simple for now. I kind of believe that like the more simple the rudiment is, the further it will take your technique. I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive, but like, because I teach a lot of beginners, and it's always reminding me like the basics is definitely the way to go if you want to lay down some good foundations. Anyway, hope everyone is happy with that. Simple stuff so far. Now, if you look onto the next section, we're going to get onto something called the paradiddle family, and every time I explain this to a new person, they're like, what the hell is a paradiddle? In fact, the best one that a student's called it, they accidentally called it a power noodle, which is legit. They called it a power noodle because they misheard me. So yeah, let's learn some power noodle rudiments, everybody. So it totally makes sense though, like a paradiddle would be kind of like the next door to open when it comes to like gaining control with your hands or your feet, whatever you're going for. Now if we look at the top one, the single paradiddle, this is very specific. I don't want to get like name-itis here where you have to name everything because you shouldn't. But a single paradiddle is very specific. It's basically like a blend of singles, which is alternating hands, and doubles, which is where you do 2 notes per hand. So pretty simple stuff. Blend those words together and you've got something called a paradiddle. So if you look at this one, morning Ash, nice to see you fella, hope you're doing well. So with this one, it's simply right, left, right, and then if you mirror that, left, right, left, left. All right, it's absolutely timeless. Like the paradiddle's been like dragged through music history for such a long time, but it's still really, really relevant. So we're just gonna do a bit of this now. Behaving myself and going at a slower pace. So you guys might notice that like at the beginning of every 4 notes, I'm doing like an accent. I can't help it, I have to do an accent, as in it feels really good to do it. You don't have to though. If you just want to get the basic pattern down. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's nice to feel, but that usually trips up people if they have to do singles and doubles in some sort of sequence or pattern. Now, let's talk about that accent then, putting the accent on the first hit. Now, if you're really paying attention, everybody, I'm still not really using my elbow. Morning, Alex, how you doing, alright? So I'm not using my elbow still, and I could if I wanted to. Kind of feels good, but don't need to. So I'm using like my wrist to be able to get that accent, and just so we're all clear, an accent is where one note is louder than another. So you could call it a normal hit and call the others ghost notes if you wanted to. It just depends how you want to swing it. But I'm going to call it an accent today. Now, I'm actually arching my wrist, and that's fine. You know, as a drummer, it's good to have that relaxed feel on the drums. You know, you should be able to have a nice rotation of the wrist as you're playing. And what it's allowing me to do is create this like momentum. It basically feels like I'm hitting one stroke, and I'm getting like a whole bunch for free. I feel like I'm hardly using any energy, and I'm getting like strings of 4 notes or 8 notes or 16 notes. I just feel like I'm going. So how are we achieving this then? Well, it takes a long time to be able to get the body to feel okay at that particular speed. But basically, the accent is where the energy is, and we talked about the fingers being like the higher resolution parts of our hands. So what they're doing is, once I've done the accent, my fingers are taking over, and they're doing all these like little controlled like pinch motions before the next hand gets ready. So it's drop, pinch, 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 drop, pinch, 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 and that's basically what's happening as I play. And like, I'm hardly wasting any energy. I feel like I just paradiddle all day. Awesome. Alright, so that is the single paradiddle. Now that we've got that bit out of the way, I can actually get through these next paradiddles a little bit quicker. So the next one is called a double paradiddle. Okay, and the double paradiddle is basically based upon 6 notes. So if you were to do 6 notes and then do the mirror, then you're left with 12 notes. And the number 12 doesn't really sit very well with values like quarter notes, eighth notes and 16th notes. The number 12 is really like, in its most raw form, wants to be a triplet of some kind. So it could be an 8th note triplet or a 16th note triplet. Morning, Rossi. Hope you're doing well, mate. You're not even a drummer, but I hope that you've got your hands ready to do some of this, buddy. You don't actually need to be a drummer to understand all this content. Anyway, so the double paradiddle, we're agreeing that it's based upon 12 notes, which naturally means it wants to be in a triplet world. 1-ander, 2-ander, 3-ander, 4-ander, that kind of feel. Now all it's asking us to do, because of the double paradiddle bit, it's just saying add more single strokes, okay? So you've got 4 single strokes and then a double. 1, 2, 3, 4, double, and then it's flipped. 1, 2, 3, 4, double. Right, left, double, right, left, and then left, right, double, right, left, double, left, right, double, right, left, double, left, right, double. So yeah, really easy to understand. Morning, Phil. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and the family are doing well. Get Maddie some drumsticks. Come on, get her to join in. So it's basically like a lengthened single paradiddle. And yes, you can still accent the first of every cluster of notes. This is the first of every 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy peasy once you've got somehow the double computes easier in my brain. Okay, that's good, Jack. Nice. When we get to doubles, I'm going to completely agree with you there, fella. So anyway, double paradiddle, such a sick rudiment to learn. Basically gets you into like territory of triplets really nicely, or 6s, okay? Still the same technique though. Basically the first note is the accent and everything else is a tap. Awesome. Alright, and let's quickly get this one out of the way. So the triple paradiddle, again, is just extending the single stroke element of it. So now we've got 6 single strokes plus a double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 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 double. And it flips from side to side. So again, not bias. Really nice for just working on that bilateral plane, making that left hand just as strong as our right. Ed says, what's better, practice these to a click or just go for speed and smoothness? Good question. You know what, I think if you're just on your own and you don't always carry a click around with you, just do them without a click. Try and build some of that internal timing that you harbour rather than relying on something like a click. Of course, all rudiments can be played to a click. They will have their like respective time signatures that they want to fit into. I think the majority of them are actually sitting in 4/4. I think there's only one drill that wants to be in some sort of 6/8 time. So to answer your question then, no, you don't need to have a click with this, and actually sometimes it's nice to do it without a click because, as I said, you can create your own timing within yourself. Just go for speed and smoothness. Let's put the smoothness first, everybody, because Ed, you love this saying, man, but fast trash is still trash. So if you can't play the rudiments very cleanly, meaning each stroke is clearly audible and sitting really nicely, then playing it fast is just going to be pretty turbulent. It's not going to sound very good at all. So yeah, fast trash is still trash, everybody. So go for smoothness first. Morning, Chris. Hope you're doing well, dude. Go for smoothness first. So if I do that with the triple paradiddle, let's just take it really slowly. I'd much rather hear someone do that. And then over the course of time, you know, each time you wake up and do this, your body's had that chance to store it as muscle memory, and you'll have to start doing it quicker. And the good thing is, if I just go to like a normal paradiddle, that muscle memory becomes so embedded that you can talk to people on a live stream without having to really think about it. And you can increase and decrease your speed without having to really take up too much conscious thought. So smoothness first, the speed will follow, I promise you. Everyone wants to like shortcut to speed. I don't know why, like speed is just one element of control. So what do you want to be? Do you want to be a fast but like not very clean drummer? Or would you rather be someone who's really clean and just builds that foundation up and up and up? So I don't know, maybe people leave some comments about that, because it's really controversial, because things like Instagram and social media really glamorize speed. But I don't know, speed is just, it's just one quality of control. Ash says, I found saying them helped. Para for the singles and then diddle for the doubles. That is correct. So if we go back to the paradiddle, para is the right left, and then the diddle is the double, right right. Paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. And I'm pretty sure that's where the original composer of these, or whoever named them, had that in mind. Anyway, let's keep pushing forward, guys. It's going to be definitely longer than a 30-minute stream, but who cares if you guys are enjoying it. So, the single paradiddle diddle. I love this sucker. That's probably hands down one of my favourite rudiments, this one. It's so, so nice if you can get it. So, the paradiddle diddle is basically two singles, so right, left, and then two sets of doubles, right, right, left, left. So put that together and you've got 6, so it's naturally wanting to be a triplet. Right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, left. And you may notice that with whatever hand you start with becomes the hand that becomes the leader. So this one is actually biased depending on which hand you start with. So I'm going to actually do it both sides for you. I'm going to actually be a right-handed and a left-handed drummer just to show you that it's worth working on both sides. But let's do this one slowly together, guys. I'm just going to like accent the first note. Has that like pendulum swinging type feel? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da, 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 da. A little quicker. Look at my left hand, because it's not doing any accents, it's just staying really low. Left hand is hardly moving. And of course, the faster I go, the less opportunity I have to flick the wrist. So what a lovely rudiment that is. Let's try it on the left hand side for a nice little challenge. All you do is just like invert the sticking. Ooh, bit harder. Right-handed, left-handed, right, left. Oh, you don't have to flip it straight away, everybody. Get good with your preferred side. I remember like a couple of years back I said, right, I'm going to go through all my rudiments but pretend I'm a left-handed drummer. and that was probably like the best thing I could have done for myself. I did it for a whole year, and it was super, super effective. Probably some of them feel a bit rusty this morning, but yeah, like that's my left side. Ugh, not as good. Sometimes I like to accent both singles, so you end up with loud, loud, soft, 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 loud, loud, soft, other way around. So that's cool as well, but again, I promised I wouldn't be like overly creative this morning. It's just going for like the raw rudiments. But of course, a lot of them can be really messed up in a good way. They can be really messed up and played around with if you change where the accent is. So for there, I just did 2 accents on the single strokes, loud, loud, and then the softer notes are the doubles. Or just the first note that's an accent. Both notes. So that allows you to change the feel of them. Anyway, that is the end of the paradiddle rudiments. There are like so many hybrid ones, but they're the ones we're working with this morning, okay? So yeah, just those drills alone will make you such a badass player if you can get them down and feel good. Chris, morning Lewis, that's a lot of paradiddle diddles per minute. You are an impressive man. And I haven't had coffee this morning, so who knows what would happen if I drank coffee. Chris, like, it's just like muscle memory, fella. It's because I've been doing them for about 20 years, you know, once you've learned to ride a bike, you never forget, do you? It doesn't mean you can ride the bike fast, but I do this kind of stuff ritualistically almost every day, just to keep myself in tune. Because I ain't getting any younger. And not that I consider myself old, but you've got to keep this stuff going, keep yourself well tuned. Anyway, let's move on. So, back to, just bringing up the first page again, sorry everybody. So the next family that we're going to look at are the drum roll rudiments. Okay, drum roll rudiments. These include things such as the multiple bounce roll, the double stroke roll, which is another favourite of mine, and the triple stroke roll, along with some, I believe if we go on to the second page as well, a whole bunch of other types of rolls, like 5-stroke rolls, all the way up to 17-stroke rolls, okay? So we're going to go through these a little bit quicker now, because I think once you've bagged a few of them, the others tend to make more sense once you've got a few of them down. So I'm actually going to start here with the double stroke roll, and then I'm going to like contrast it with the multiple bounce roll, okay? So a double stroke roll is one of those like essential rudiments as well, which is basically where you get 2 per hand. Thanks Chris, take care mate, see you soon. So, doubles, everybody can learn doubles. Very hard to get fast. It does take a student a hell of a lot of effort to be able to get them up to speed. And just, just so you're out there, make sure that for those who are out there listening, just make sure that you put a lot of time into your doubles. I've got too many students who aren't good enough at their doubles, so put some time into this because it opens up so many doors as well. So double strokes, literally committing right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. I know man, what would happen if I had coffee? Jeez. I love my double strokes. Really addicted to double strokes. So you don't have to play them fast, start slow, but really the technique there that I like to use is basically where you drop the stick and then catch it. Drop, catch, drop, catch, drop, catch. A lot of people like to throw the stick down, which is kind of like, it's okay to do that. But that's kind of like bouncing a basketball like really heavily. It's like grabbing a basketball going, wah, and then expecting to catch it. Of course it can be done, but you're making life quite hard. What I prefer to do is do a soft and then a grab, soft grab. So it's almost like inverting it around the other way, where you go soft, loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft, loud. And the faster you get at that, of course that motion is going to be minimized, so the threshold of your wrist is going to be a lot lower, like this. So when you get up to those fast tempos, you know, that threshold is really, really low on the surface. But I just find that it creates a more even double stroke roll, okay? That's definitely like a more advanced way of seeing the double stroke. But for now, just get good at double tapping, right? Zombie land, double tap everybody. Don't forget to shoot the zombie twice, make sure it's dead. So, if we contrast that with the multiple bounce roll, the multiple bounce roll is basically saying anything more than like 2. So, it's really hard to demonstrate this slowly, but I'll have a go. So if you've got doubles, morning Ollie, nice to see you dude. Hope you're drumming lots, fella. So that's doubles. So you want to do a multiple bounces. And it sounds a bit like a boing effect, a ping pong boing effect, because I'm playing it quite slow. But you're hearing that there's definitely more than 2 hits. So 2. Morning, buddy. Doubles, multiples, doubles, multiple. And in a minute I'll try and create some sort of timing for you so it feels better. But basically what I do with the multiple bounce is I basically do clean singles, clean doubles, and then do the multiple bounce roll, and I create this little pyramid. So I'll see if I can do that for you guys and then explain it afterwards. So let me just find the sweet spot for it. So yeah, I'll go faster now. I think like I'm almost at the sweet spot. Nearly there. So probably not the best rudiment that is in my arsenal, but basically multiple bounce roll is where you're hitting more than 2 hits per stroke, okay? I need to work on that one, you can see, but I'm definitely not perfect at all of them, but that's basically what's happening. You're going from like a single strike to a double to something more than a double. So multiple bounce roll. Morning, Steve. Now I've got to say it to Ed watching. Ed's really good with his multiple bounce rolls. He's got this like, I don't know, he's just got this really nice like military feel to his multiple bounces. So Ed, you rock at them. Well done, dude. Quickly then, with the triple strokes. Clues in the name. We're back to our triplet slash sextuplet type feel, so we're moving in 3s. And this is different to a multiple bounce roll, because what you're doing here is you do actually need to control all 3 hits. So I'm actually feeling every stroke in that 3. See, I'm accenting the first of every 3 hits as well, which kind of allows me to create momentum. So yeah, absolutely dig this drill. What it is. Let's move on. Alright, on to page 2 then. Hope everyone's happy with it so far. So, my friend does the double bounce by pinching and releasing the 3 back fingers and then pulling on the last stroke. Yes, that does make sense. Pretty much what you're doing there. Lovely. Yeah. So like, basically it's that motion of the stick. Drop, accent, touch, pinch. Accent, touch, pinch. Or tap, you could say. Drop, tap, pinch. Morning, AD, hope you're well. And as I said earlier, that sort of technique that Ollie's just said then basically helps you build these muscles in the higher resolution part of your hand, all right, which is really useful. Anyway, all right, we're gonna end the live stream on this last topic, okay? This last part of Rudiments, which is the drum roll rudiments, okay? These are awesome. These are absolutely wicked. If you get good at one of them, you can pretty much do all of them. And again, I got like a lot of students that need to work on this particular technique. You can't shy away at this and just wake up one morning and be awesome at it. You have to really work to get these ones. So let's dive in. I'm going to go through these quite quickly because once you've got like a few of them, I say the rest all makes sense. So the five stroke roll. This one is saying, morning Jack, thanks for tuning in, dude. So this one is saying you do a single stroke and then you do 2 sets of doubles. Right, left, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left. There you go. Lovely. So 5-stroke rolls, super useful. There's like so many applications to use those around the drums. Okay, let's look at the next one then. So the 6-stroke roll. 6-stroke roll, this one is in kind of like a 16th note format or with some additional 32nd notes, but sometimes the 6-stroke roll is also referring to like a sextuplet feel as well. But don't want name-itis this morning. We're not going to worry about what things are called. It's more like getting the right sticking and the right rhythm across. So this one is saying single, double, double, single. Okay, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, right, left. Da 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 da. So it just feels like it's kind of clustered in 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And that's how you get that feel. It's basically like a 16th note, 4 32nd notes, and then a 16th note. It looks like the left hand's the leader, but that's actually the last note. This is the first note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, lovely. You could play it with a sextuplet feel. Which I think I prefer, kind of gives this more like water rippling feel. It's a bit of a smoother sound. But if I play 4 with a more straighter rhythm and then 4 like a sextuplet, you'll hear the difference. Awesome. All right, 6-stroke rolls. Quickly moving on then. So 7-stroke roll, we've got 6 32nd notes and then a 16th at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, pause. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, pause. Faster. Works the other way. Right. Left. So there you go. Now this is the point where if you've got this far and you understand up to the 7-stroke roll, then you can unlock all of these up to the number 17, okay? So I'm going to be a little quicker with these and then sign off because we've been going for about 45 minutes, which is enough. I don't want to like bombard you guys with too much of this, just give you some nice stuff to work on over the week while you're self-isolating or at home. So, the 9-stroke roll, I love this one. It's basically 8 32nd notes and then a single stroke. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. pause. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, pause. You can see why it's important now to get those double strokes down on the first page, as they unlock these guys. Left way. Right. Left. Right. Left. You should do a gospel feel chops live stream, my dude. Oh, don't tempt me. That would be a lot of fun. Maybe. It's early days for COVID-19, so we might be in this for a little bit longer than we would hope for. So yeah, we can work our way up some gospel chops, but I'll say this again, like I said at the beginning of the live stream. If you want to get up to those like fast gospel chops, then you need to have this foundation, you need to have this blueprint in place. Otherwise, fast trash is still trash, people. If you can't pull this off, if you can't do it on a simple pad, then how are you going to be able to move it around the kit? Anyway, Ollie, I know that you're pretty good with your rudiments, fella. So yeah, we could do that in the future. So pretty much just linear and accents. Yeah, I agree, dude. We're going to definitely at some point check out some cool linear fill-ins, and I might write up a few and we can share some cool ideas. But like I said, speed and gospel chops are just one element of control as a drummer, and a lot of control. When I'm talking to a student about control, what I'm really looking for from them is like cleanliness. I want it to sound clean first. I don't care how fast it is. I want it to sound clean, and I want it to sound compatible with another idea. So let's say you're doing like a drum beat, which is your setup. That drum beat is waiting to have a gospel chop played after it, and then you got back into the beat. So with that, I want people to understand that they need to be really compatible. So you don't just want to groove slow and then play really fast, groove slow and play really fast, unless it's compatible, okay? But yeah, we'll look into that. Jack says, I feel some combinations coming on. Combinations, hell yeah! It's basically what drum rudiments are. They're just like these fiddly combinations. They're like, it's basically like the Rubik's Cube for the hands. It's just something that you can just twist and play around with. Yeah. Really enjoyed the Lewis, thank you. Is someone named a rudiment the Lewis, have they? I don't know, who knows. Alright, so I'm going to get through these ones a little quicker then. So, 10-stroke roll is basically building upon the 9-stroke roll. So, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, pause. Da, 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 pause. 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 Thanks for the live streams. It's okay, Ollie. If you guys are enjoying it, please do donate. There's a PayPal link. Yeah, like this is a tough time for a self-employed musician, so anything helps. So that's the 10-stroke, everybody. Pause. Pause. Okay, let's bag the next 4 11-stroke roll. So you just add that extra double. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. Pause. Da, 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 da. Pause. I said to you guys, once you bag a few of these, you bag them all. Keep in time with my left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next one's 13-stroke rolls. So right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. Pause. Da 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 da. Pause. Dean says, thank you, Lewis. We'll be practicing later when I'm not working. Well, I'm glad you're working, dude. Just be safe out there. Wash your hands, but don't sing happy birthday, sing paradiddle. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, left. Yeah, happy birthday thing's stupid. Just actually use it in a useful way. So that's the 13-stroke roll, 2 more left, a 15-stroke roll, and then the ultimate, which is the 17-stroke roll. Joey, nice to see you, mate. Thanks for joining. We're just on the tail end of this live stream, but of course you can rewatch this, and I'm also going to put it up on YouTube as well later to people to rewatch. So a 15-stroke roll, again, just like stretching out that roll. You're basically doubling all the time here except for the last left. So you go right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. That's long, refer to the sheet. I like that one, it feels continuous, like it never stops. You just get that last 16th note. There. 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 And finally, the 17-stroke roll, which is our last one for today, but of course thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you got something from this today. So the 17-stroke roll could easily become like an infinite double-stroke roll, and it sort of comes full circle back to the double stroke, which is intended to be infinitely played. So a 17-stroke roll is saying do 8 sets of doubles, and then end with a quarter note as a single stroke, and then you've got the rest of the bar to pause. Says play a paradiddle with the accent on 1, 2, 3, 4, but in 16th note triplet feel. Keep quarter note feel on the feet. Sounds awesome. Paradiddles. Do you mean something like that? Anyway, like there's so much creative stuff you can do with it. Oh, you gave me a love heart there. Is that correct? Oh yeah! Thanks for teaching me that. Anyway, so with the 17-stroke roll, if you were to, it is a great exercise, that one just played. It's insanely tricky to do. I got lucky there, but yeah, that one's somewhere in my library, in my head. So with the 17-stroke roll, if you were to just ignore that quarter note, then it would just go on infinitely. So I'll play it with the quarter note and then I'll play it without, and it will just keep going. And off we go, we're into infinite territory now. Bring it back. Remove it. And we have come full circle, which is why the double stroke rolls are so cool in this particular part of the Rudiments system. So as I said, if you get the double strokes down and you get your single strokes down and even the paradiddles as well, just with those 3 rudiments you unlock so many doors, so many options, and we're already halfway through the like 40 rudiments, and you can just see that by understanding those you've unlocked half of them. And there are tons and tons of hybrid ones, but on the whole, get those down, those 3 core rudiments, singles, doubles and paradiddles, and I promise you that like so many doors will open. You have to do this a lot though. It doesn't come for free. There's no like magic pill that you can take that you wake up one morning and you understand all of this kind of stuff. The only way to get good at it is just by sitting and committing to it. And you saw there, you know, a bit of a 20-year commitment, and I've got a lot more work to do. But just gradually doing it every day, feeling those gradual rewards, will actually allow you to become a better player. Great stream, mate. Thank you, Ed. You're welcome, dude. Thanks for sticking around. I hope work has allowed you to watch this. If not, you can always re-watch it because I'll upload it on Facebook and YouTube. So that's all I'm going to do with you guys. That's all I'm going to show you today. Trust me, I could go on and on and on if you give me the voice, but I will limit myself today. Please make sure that you download the PDF that came with this in the description. If not, it will be on the YouTube page afterwards. Awesome stuff, dude. Stay safe. Thanks, Ollie. Take care, dude. Join me again for another stream. So basically, download the PDF that has all this on, and there is a PayPal donations link as well, because as I said, this is a really weird and tough time for a self-employed individual. I'm hoping that the government pulls through today. There's meant to be an announcement for self-employed individuals, so I hope that we're not screwed. I hope that they do something beneficial for us. In the meantime, I'll be continuing to do live streams. You guys just leave comments of what sort of topics you'd want to see. And I hope that you got something from that and don't feel quite as lonely, because it's pretty weird at the moment. You walk outside and it's like The Walking Dead on day one. So yeah, enjoy yourselves. Ash, nice one, dude. We'll get practicing later. My drum room doubles as the office my wife and I are using during self-isolation. Well, I'm glad you are self-isolating, dude, because you went on your honeymoon and goodness knows what you caught when you went there. But it looks like you had a good time either way. Yep, so see you again soon. Leave your comments and watch out for my next live stream. See you later. Cheers.